Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar, Increase Revenue and Drive Leads, Optimising the B2B Experience. My name is Mario Kiriakou, Managing Partner at UK Digital Agency Ratio. So something about Ratio. Well, Ratio, a UK digital agency, we're also a site called digital agency, a site called Partner. We help clients to achieve their digital targets and revenue objectives by leveraging data-driven insight and continuous testing and optimization to build experiences which deliver seamlessly across devices and channels. So why can't B2B deliver the same levels of customer experience as your B2C colleagues? It's a good question. B2B can sometimes be seen as the unglamorous sibling of B2C. And the truth is, B2B shouldn't be seen as that. B2B has greater potential in many respects than B2C. B2C has its own unique challenges. Lots of B2C brands don't have the same levels of interaction with their target audience. Just think of fast-moving consumer goods type companies where there's an intermediary between the brand and the end consumer, whereas B2B companies have the advantage of interacting with their target audience. They can leverage technology and strategies that build relationships with their audience, but also because potentially B2B organizations are looking to engage with a potentially smaller audience in one sense, but obviously higher value per transaction. They have the opportunity to build much closer, deeper one-to-one relationships with prospective customers. So what are some of the challenges around B2B? Well, engaging with a mobile first audience. B2B purchasers, people working in B2B looking to purchase products from business-to-business organizations are just as mobile first as consumers are. We all use our smartphones, our tablets, both for work and play. And it's just assumed now that I will be able to, as an individual, to obtain information I want from a mobile device or from a tablet. But it goes beyond that. It goes beyond just delivering an experience which is tactile and usable on a mobile device. It's been able to recognize that people using mobiles or smartphones have different requirements, that just having a responsive design of your main desktop site is not necessarily the right way to go. Simple ideas around long forms on desktops and optimizing short forms for mobile conversion. But it's just to recognize that your audience, even though there may be business purchasers and working for organizations, are still working in a mobile age. They'll be interacting with your emails outside of work, at lunch, on trains, etc. And they need to be able to engage with your brand in a way that suits them. Changing up sales tactics. Traditionally, marketers working for B2B organizations, and I say traditionally, still the case, are looking to generate inquiries, warmth for sales. You're looking to generate something to hand over to your sales team, and the process is not going to change. But it's a reflection of the fact that your audience obviously are researching online about your product. They're looking on your site for supporting content. They look at third-party sites, Trust Advisor, etc., in order to do their initial research, corroborate their ideas on whether they should be purchasing this product. And with that change of mindset, it's a change of how do we approach this audience? If they are far more informed before they speak to sales, how do we influence the pre-sales conversation? What content, what tactics, what levels of engagement do we need to deploy in order to nurture that prospect? So when a sales conversation does happen, it can be guided towards your company's unique USPs, but also support your sales team with the relevant information. Apply context in marketing. Moving away from a one-size-fits-all approach, a batch and blast approach to marketing. Context is king. What we know about our audience from data, from the way they interact with us, enables us to tailor the messaging and tailor the experience. So how do we deploy context in order to create unique experiences. Marketing to micro segments. Every organization will be looking to engage with multiple audiences, multiple segments. Within B2B, you may have a target list of accounts, but you're unlikely to have just one decision maker. You may have a whole team of people you're looking to engage with from different departments, HR, IT, sales, C-level right down. And how you break up these different audiences into different segments in order to target these segments with relevant content is a challenge. And how do we as a business extract actionable insight from data? Businesses now are drowning in a sea of data, and that data is a blessing and also a curse. The challenge is how do we obtain, locate and extract actionable insight? And actionable insight is what enables organizations to make a positive change to the way they market to their customers. Optimizing email. Email is still the number 2 channel for ROI, which generates ROI for businesses. A recent report from eConsultancy, email is ranked by B2C and B2B organizations as the channel, number 2 channel, which generates the most ROI. But number 2 behind the website, not surprising, but email, in spite of the rise of social, is still very much king. So how do we optimize email in terms of content, targeting to the right person at the right time, but also deploying email as a tool to nurture prospects from initial interaction right through to sell? So how do we successfully leverage email to continue to engage with our audience? Because the main challenge around B2B really is about this shift in focus to the customer experience. In order to optimize your B2B experience to increase leads and revenue, it's about understanding from the consumer's point of view, and I'll say consumer in spite of the fact that we are talking about B2B purchases, because they are individuals ultimately who are looking to make a decision, they're looking to make a decision for their organizations. But from the consumer's point of view, defining what does a good experience look like. And then building out that B2B experience, whether in terms of the content you supply, the way you engage your prospects, in order to employ relevancy and contextual marketing to your different segments. It's about this shift from channel optimization, more multi-channel marketing, to customer experience, more of an omni-channel experience. So how do you as a B2B organization look to deploy and understand what customer experience can mean for your audience? Because digital isn't just about increasing leads. I mentioned the shift to customer experience is about more than just optimizing channels for lead conversion. Obviously, B2B organizations are well versed in deploying resources in terms of paid for campaigns, email campaigns, display, etc., in order to drive traffic, click through to landing pages, to convert to downloads, inquiries, etc., for a hungry sales team to follow up on. But optimizing the B2B experience is more than just about generating those leads. It's about how do we leverage digital to really drive and support the overall business. And the overall business is interested in driving revenue, it's in building market share. How do you use digital in order to research, understand how your target audience, your customers are liaising and using your products or services? How do you use digital to not just drive new customers, but look to reduce churn over time? How do you use digital to retain customers, to build a deeper relationship with them, so you're in a position to upsell and cross-sell additional products and services? How do you use digital to build your brand? And brand can be a slightly fuzzy term, but how do you use digital to create, in effect, a great customer experience when your target audience are engaging with you at every single touch point? It's a seamless experience, There is no frisson. They are able to obtain the information they want, and never at one point do they feel jarred by the experience, and begin to associate your brand with your thought leadership, with the products you supply. Because optimizing the B2B experience is about more than just, as I said before, driving those leads. It's about increasing engagement over the long term. There are many statistics which say that 67% of your target audience have already made up their mind or done all the research before they engage with sales. Whether that's true or not, different reports provide different opinions. But it's fair to say that whatever your audience is engaging with you, whether you have 100,000 visitors visiting your site a month, or you're collecting 10,000 leads a month or a quarter or a year, it goes without saying that only a percentage of those will be at any given moment in a position to either want to speak with sales or to look to purchase your product. What do you do with the remainder? So how do you leverage digital to A, identify who is ready to buy, and also to identify who is not ready? So how do you use digital? Because what you're looking to do is to streamline and make your lead process more efficient. Sales have X amount of time, they have X amount of resources. Instead of having them focusing on qualifying every single lead, how do you use digital to say, A, Mr. Prospect, are you interested in that product? How do you use digital to help them self-identify before speaking to sales? I mean, that could be as explicit as filling in a contact us form, but it could be more implicit, such as engaging with certain pieces of content, viewing certain pages, and using that as a way of building up a lead score, a lead profile, and triggering emails and notifications to sales teams to follow up with X individuals as they've been profiled to a certain level. So profiling people in and out. So qualifying leads in or out much faster. So if you have 100 leads, how do we identify the 5% which should be flipped over to the sales team? But then it's also understanding how we use digital to engage with that other 95%. Building engagement with your audience over the long term is about understanding who your buyer is and where they are in their journey. And that could be based on many different areas. You could map it to a marketing funnel. The important thing is to understand where this prospect is with their initial interaction with your organization. Is this the first time they've interacted with your audience, with your brand? Can you associate them to a larger account if you're looking to do account-based targeting? Are they an existing customer? Have they been a customer with you a long time? Do you know what products or services they purchase? Are you able to segment these audiences differently and able to treat them differently, providing targeted emails, personalizing the online experience based on who and what they are? Can you build trust through lead nurturing? Using email is a great tool, but can you do more than perhaps looking to do batch and blast type of emails? As I said before, are you able to segment your audience? Are you able to build out nurture plans to guide people through a process, to use email to bring people back into your organization to help reduce churn? Because it's about building relevancy over the longer term. If only 5% of your leads within a given inquiries within a given quarter or month, etc., are going to convert to a sales-ready lead or to a sale, what do you do with the other 95%? Now, if your profiling and targeting is correct and they're the right audience, you don't want to dismiss them. So it's about how you leverage content and technology to build a relationship, to build engagement over the long term, so that when they are in a position to buy, your company's front of mind. Because when that happens, prospects will be in a position to raise their hand, and it's just a continuous virtuous circle. So where should we start? As I said before, optimizing the B2B experience is about more than just channels. You can look to optimize channels to extract the most from them, whether you're looking to optimize social, email, PPC, for example. You can look to optimize those specific channels, run tests in order to increase the conversion rates. for example. But in order to increase revenue, it's about the overall approach to building out an overall customer experience from initial touch point right through to purchase and post-purchase, and mapping that experience around how the customer wishes to engage. So where should we start? Well, it's difficult to optimize anything website or digital related unless we have certain baseline metrics from which to start. So I would say to you, look at your existing data, whether that's sitting within your web platforms, different analytics tools, your CRM, for example. Look at your data to define the percentage of leads which pass to sales, the percentage of leads which currently turn to sales, the average number of days from web lead created to sell, what is your customer churn rate, and the percentage of current leads which are not encouraging engagement with sales. And we can begin to build out baseline metrics, because what we want to know is not necessarily whether these are good or bad. We just want to know what they are currently. So then when we look to optimize the overall experience, we'll do it with improving upon these numbers. So if one of your key KPIs is reducing the average number of days from web lead created to sell, we will focus our efforts on creating the experience, optimizing the content and the targeting to reducing that number, whether it's from 90 days to 60 days, it doesn't matter. It's about focusing our efforts on the 3 or 4 key KPIs which are important to your business. And how do we identify how your customers engage with you? It's important to identify this. So use analytics, use your customer research, speak to different teams, identify and understand how your current target audience, whether prospects or existing customers, engage with your company currently. Is that through the website? If yes, via what type of pages or content? Is it via call centers? Is it direct through sales? It's about building up a picture of how they currently engage with you. But it's important that you use customer research to define how customers would prefer to engage with you. It's important to understand, obviously, how they engage, but there's not necessarily the way that customers want to engage. So you need to do both. One could be quite analytically based. The second could be more qualitative. So perhaps you may look to interview customers, set up tests and do specific research, reach out with your audience, perhaps run surveys, because you want to marry the two, how they engage with you as opposed to how they would like to engage with you. And marketing funnels have their place. The old linear journey is dead. Rarely, if ever, customers are unlikely to go from follow a static, simple linear journey from awareness, interest, evaluation, purchase. It's nice when it happens. In reality, it's going to be far more complex. We live in a multi-touch point world where people are jumping in, jumping out, especially within organizations where you have multiple stakeholders who are researching multiple vendors, multiple products and services. They're going to be engaging with your brand at different points. They'll be contrasting, comparing you with the competition. They'll also be looking and use third-party sites in order to review and assess your organization. So look at how potentially your target audience will engage with you. And move towards a model of identifying customer touchpoints. If we can't map everything to a traditional linear customer journey, let's identify those customer touchpoints, those moments of impact, the areas of your experience, your B2B experience, where your target audience collides with you, whether that's engaging with your mobile website or downloading specific pieces of content or interacting with your social platforms. Map these individual touch points, because these touch points will form the basis of your overall optimization efforts in order to improve the customer experience. And understand that journey. Prospects and customers are two different things. Prospects are people who are not customers, obviously, and customers are people who have already purchased or interacted with your brand in a positive fashion. It's important to understand the two different audiences where one becomes the other, and what they want from you and your brand, because they're very different. Prospects haven't bought into your company or proposition. They're still researching, they're still learning, they're still trying to figure out whether they actually have a problem for which your product is a solution. At this point, they may still need education support. So your optimization efforts might be more focused around education, providing content that guides them through the process and optimizing and tweaking your targeting and segmentation to make sure you're delivering the right content to the right person at the right time. Whereas your existing customers, they've already invested the time and money into the process. They've bought into a solution. They've bought into the idea that your product or service is going to help them resolve and solve a specific problem. So their challenges might be more around getting the most out of their purchase solution. They also want to be valued as a customer. So how do we optimize the experience for this very different target audience? They may match the same profile in terms of persona, but different in the terms of what information, what content, what they want from your brand. And context is key. Treat people differently based on context. For every interaction someone has on your site with your brand, we know something. It's stored, it's extractable, it's actionable. So what data will be collecting around the type of devices people are using to interact with you, where they're located, what channels are referring to your site, are they coming from paid for campaigns, are we able to profile them based on demographic, are we aware of the number of visits they've made to the site? If yes, great, because these trigger points allow us to optimize, customize, and dynamically change the experience and make it more relevant for your audience. B2B has a great opportunity. It has a great opportunity to build these one-to-one relationships with your customers. You're not looking to engage with millions upon millions of people. You're looking to engage at the individual level. So how do we leverage digital to optimize the experience so we can have these one-to-one interactions and conversations with people? Can you look to deploy account-based marketing? Account-based marketing is potentially quite a powerful tool for B2B organizations because it takes into account the fact that for a lot of B2B companies, you're looking to sell to more than just one individual. You're looking to sell to an entire team. So an account-based approach allows you to pull in multiple people from a target organization and allows you to interact with them differently based on their own unique needs and challenges. But account-based marketing allows you to focus on line sales, which is super important. Marketing at the end of the day is the reverse side of a coin and sales is the other side of it. Marketing and sales are the same thing. You both have the same objectives. In order to achieve an increase in leads and revenue, you both need to be rowing in the same direction. An account-based approach allows you to align the two. It provides the opportunity to increase the customer experience because you can be more relevant to your target audience. The ROI is clearer because you're looking to measure the sales and revenue from an overall account as opposed to the lead. A lead may not convert from that individual to a sale, but someone from the account, from the overall parent business, perhaps a decision maker who doesn't actually interact with your brand directly is driving through the sale. So it allows you to have a clear ROI. An account-based approach allows you to have some clear goal setting at the beginning. And analytics is simpler on measurement. And we're going to be talking about this in a bit in a second. It allows you to be more personal and relevant. And we've talked a bit about leveraging what we know about people, leveraging the contextual touch points in order to make the experience more relevant. What can that mean in reality? Well, it's about how do you deploy personalization. So how do you look to personalize the online experience for your consumers? And what is personalization? Well, it's the ability to use data in the moment to create meaningful, relevant experiences. Here at Ratio, we work with a lot of customers who use Sitecore, and Sitecore is a great and powerful tool which can be deployed to optimize and personalize the online experience based on insights and actionable data that we hold within analytics databases or third-party systems like CRM. So if you're looking to personalize the experience, what can you do? Well, you need to identify what your customers' intentions are, and you look to personalize against those. So look to identify the channels which drive people in. Perhaps look at your inbound sources. Perhaps those are sources being driven from marketing campaigns, perhaps from social channels, perhaps from top referring sites. What do we know about those channels? What do we know about those campaigns? If they're paid for campaigns, do we know the individual keywords? And how can we leverage those to create an individual experience? What footprints and data points are people leaving behind when engaged with your site? And are we aware of how many visits they've had, how many times they've come back to the site? Have we profiled the content they viewed, and are we able to serve up relevant supporting content? Perhaps you might be looking to personalize based on information held in other systems. So a common one with B2B organizations, and one we work with a lot of clients with, is about how do we leverage all that rich data stored within the CRM in order to surface it on the website, in order to personalize based on what we hold within a contact record in the CRM. So perhaps that's something you may want to consider. Email is your best friend. Email is a super powerful tool for any B2B marketer. It goes without saying, it doesn't even need repeating. Marketers within B2B organizations have been using email for years. Why is that? Because it simply works. It simply converts, and when you're comparing it to social, it's hard to drive the same levels of engagement. Email has great potential, but how do we move beyond batch and blast? How do we move towards personalizing the overall customer journey from initial interaction right through to post-purchase, and understanding the type of emails and content that is required to pull people through, bring people back? Can you look to automate onboarding emails? Can we target emails based on content consumed? For example, your individuals to the site profile, read certain product pages. Do we have their information? Are we able to sync that with their contact record? If so, can we send triggered emails which provide supporting and relevant additional content? Are we able to treat existing customers differently to prospect customers or even lapsed customers? So how do we use email really efficiently, really cleverly to target individuals at the individual level to provide in relevant content at the right time? So that brings us to the end of today's webinar. Thank you very much for joining me today. That just leaves me to say thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of today.